What it do, Jado Boo, and welcome back to my podcast, Siah be Chattin. Thank you, thank you. Y'all feel a switch? Y'all feel a little difference within how I approach this podcast? You see what I'm saying? We're gonna come in with really strong, attractive energy because I'm an attractive person. Thank you. And those who are new, my name is Messiah Dixon. I am a social media creator. I've been doing this 1-2 for about 5 years. Popping my shit, doing my one. Thank you. And this is my podcast. I've dived really deep into love, friendships, self-love, careers. I've dived into everything. Trust, putting your faith into not only yourself but other people, and mental health. I'm really big on making sure we're prioritizing the big 3, 4, 5s. You see what I'm saying? Making sure you're prioritizing your mental state, your emotional state, your financial state, and your spiritual state. You see what I'm saying? I'm really big on that. And this is that podcast for you. So if you guys know anybody else who needs to hear this, or somebody that you feel like needs to hear this word based off what this episode is about, because y'all going to be gagged. Thank you. Make sure you guys send them out. Send this out to them. But this is episode 6 of Siah be Chattin podcast, and we are going to be touching on to some of the leg booty community things, the LGBT, the gay stuff. You know what I mean? What comes within dating in this community? My coming out journey. I've talked about my coming out journey so many times, and I talk about it so much because I am I'm very prideful about it. I'm very confident about it because I know it's what's made me who I am to this day. And if there's somebody who's struggling with not only coming out to their loved ones or their friends, but coming out to themselves, you know what I mean? That is very, very, very important. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of being in the community. Red flags, green flags in the community. Controversial topics inside the leg booty community that some people are afraid to talk to, but I'm that nigga to do that. Hello. Thank you. And without further ado, we're going to start a little light. Like I said, we're going to do a brief little, 1-2 about my coming out journey. For those who are new, those who have already heard it, you already know, get down, get you some popcorn, warm you up some fish and some mac and cheese and some broccoli. Do something while I talk about this. Thank you. Whew, crazy. I came out when I was 18, 19 years old. It was one of the two. I always forget. I think it was when I was 18. No, it was when I was 18. Nope, it was when I turned 19. Sorry. It was when I turned 19. I was very adamant on making sure I came out during Pride Month, which is obviously in June. My birthday is June 26th, which is the same day that same-sex marriage was legalized. So I was like, I'm going to use my birthday and that being like the wraparound on me coming out. And I've been very, very confident ever since. Came out to my family, my mother, my father, my sister, my brothers, my friends. I came out to my friends in 2020. Like, they've been new. I've been told my bitches. I said, y'all, I like boys. And they was like, girl, like, we support you. We're your ones. Obviously, I came across a couple people who are not in my circle to this day. Clock this. That were like, oh, like, we knew. Or like, oh yeah, like I heard because so-and-so told me. I do not involve myself with those people anymore. Thankfully, thank God that those true colors actually ended up being revealed, because let alone have those people still be in my circle to this day, I probably wouldn't be as stern about the people I have in my life now. You know what I mean? I know everybody that I have in my circle right now are my ride or dies, my soulmates, the people that I know that are going to be the godfathers and godmothers of my children. I wasn't able to say that 2-3 years ago. And with my coming out journey, I've learned so much about myself, what I tolerate, what I don't tolerate, what I crave and what I don't crave. Sometimes we have a habit of thinking what we want and what we crave based off what's been presented to us. We learn certain things just due to it being that, what's the word, stereotypical relationship, or like, you're a man, so you need to like this or like that or do this and do that. And I steered away from those type of, stereotypes. You know what I mean? I built my own beliefs, and I built my own preferences on things. And over time, I became the most confident person I've ever could imagine me becoming. I feel like I'm at a place right now where this is what my younger me needed. And, I feel like I'm making my younger self proud. But anyway, within me coming out in 1920, I was also in my very first relationship with the guy in 2020. And when I tell y'all know. For those who know, y'all know that first relationship always tears you up. Do you understand me? Told me up to the ground. Was staying here with my mama. I was like 17, 18 years old, mind you. So just keep that in mind. I was a little fast one. I'm a lover boy. So, I'm thinking about where we're going to be getting married and where our wedding is going to be in the next 2 years. Mind you, we've been talking for 2 months. You know what I mean? So as much as a lot of people have probably been through the exact same thing as me, my first relationship with a guy was probably the most eye-opening relationships I've ever had. You know what I mean? And to this day, y'all know I'm very big on, despite the hate that people or the hurt that people have done to you, um, even if their intentions weren't pure, they were malicious, don't allow that to alter who you are as a person. And to this day, I'm very big, and at least now in the era that I'm in right now, and the person I have become, is that despite what other people have done to me, I can never hold hatred or ill intention ill intention over them. I'm not going to place animosity or any this negative thing about them, because at one point in my life, I cared about you. That doesn't take away for the bullshit that the people do. Don't forget it. You can always forgive and silence forgive within yourself. Thank you. But that doesn't mean you have to tolerate it anymore. And that's something I learned in my first relationship and going forward from all my other relationships. Dating in this community is so hard, you guys. It's so hard. You come across people who wants to date. This not even a drag. Kind of is, but hey, you're coming across people who want to talk to people who are a lot younger than you or a lot older than you. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of people that try coming to me and talking to me that's in their 30s, and I'm 22. There's absolutely nothing wrong with, pursuing anybody, obviously, with an age at a right age limit, obviously, but it comes from a space where it's like, I personally don't like dating people in their 30s, 29, 30. Oldest I'll probably date is 27. But it's like, I only say that because you've lived what I'm going through right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for you to want to pursue me, and you have more knowledge than I do, and you trust me, I like dating older too, but it's like, you're at an age where it's like, I want to get married when I'm 30. I want to get married now. You see what I'm saying? So I can only imagine where my mindset is going to shift. Let me be in my 30s. So I don't feel like we have too much in common when it comes to what we want out of this right now. Sometimes I even to this day, I still feel like see it kind of weird, just outside of the whole maturity thing. It's just like, girl, we're not close to age limits. We're not close to age at all, babe. So it's like, you immediately getting attracted to me. Yes, I'm a very handsome person. I'm not going to ever take that for granted. But it's like, I know there's other people in your age group who can cater to you better than what a 22-year-old can cater to you for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always been like my biggest thing. That's always been my biggest thing. And that in the gay community is mentioned, but not mentioned too much. You know what I'm saying? And it comes from a space, is like, why aren't we talking about this? Like, why aren't we in an era where people are just strictly dating the people in their age group? Now, it's like me, even it sounds so crazy, and I'm 22. I wouldn't date anybody who's 20. It sounds insane. It's like, I would date somebody who's 27. I wouldn't date anybody who's 20. And I'm 22, let alone I'm turning 23 in June. So it's like, still, but even then, it's like 21 is really pushing it. And it's only a year before me, but it's like, I know where I was mentally 20 and 21, and let alone I was still very mature. But I know a lot of people out there who don't have the same mindset as me and think how I do, because I've been through what I've been through to become the person that I am today. And some people haven't done that groundwork to become better. People haven't done that groundwork to become better individuals. You know what I mean? And that's just always been my experience with dating people kind of in my age range. I don't know. I'm such a high standard bitch. Like, I'm just going to say that with so much confidence, because it is like, a lot of the niggas that I've came across, y'all don't match my standard. And that's okay. Obviously, I know there's somebody out there who does, but based off the couple frogs I've kissed, oh, girl, hated, threw them bitches right back in the lake. No shade. And it's no hatred or any animosity towards any of them. It's just, you were simply not my person. And that's something I've realized that we struggle with in the community too. We have this huge habit of wanting to rush and jump into relationships, y'all. What is up with that? What is tea? I don't know why people feel the need to rush and jump into relationships, y'all. Y'all don't know these people from a can of paint. What is this nigga's middle name? Thank you. Quickly. So I just feel like it comes to a point where it's like people get so caught up on the thought of being in a relationship without actually fully and understanding and learning a person. You don't know a person fully to the extent for a year, 2 years. You don't fully know anybody. You can be dating somebody for 6 months and you probably maybe know 25% of that person. So how could you immediately say this is the person I want to be with for life? That takes time. That takes growth. I am such a slow burner. And I feel like with that, I wasn't really that type of person. And I'm telling you guys this because I used to do the same thing. I was in a relationship with somebody I knew for 2 months. We said, I love you after the third. Now, mind you, I was like 19, 20 years old. So let's keep that in mind. And knowing what I know now is that we get so caught up on trying to be in a relationship and have this stereotypical gay love, but not actually doing the groundwork that comes behind it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with that, it's like we get so clouded over that, and we do it so much, and people say I love you in such different ways without really understanding what it means to truly love somebody. You love the idea of me, you lust me for surely, but in these 2-3 months, can you say that you love me? You know what I'm saying? And like I'm very it's so controversial in a sense too, because people love to say you can't really put a time frame on when you love, but it's like how much do you really know for you to say that you love me and you know me for 90 days? You see what I'm saying? And with that comes just a lot of responsibility, and it comes with a lot of baggage, because you could get in a relationship with somebody in 3 months, say I love you, you guys break up over some petty stupid shit, and now you have in your mind that this is what love is supposed to look like. But it's like, no, it's not, because that's not what love was at all. You barely knew the person, you liked the person, you probably really really like them, you probably have love for them, but do you love them as who they are as people, flaws and all? Or is it lust? Is it something that you're craving? Are you okay with being by yourself first before you jump into a relationship? That can be a huge cause too in relationships nowadays, because people crave what they need to be craving and feeding within themselves. Clock it. Thank you. Thank you. I would tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you what? A lie. Hello. You see what I'm saying? So it's like with that, people don't really be keeping that in consideration when it comes to dating somebody. It's crazy out here, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And there's just a lot of shit in the gay community that I feel like is so normalized and it's gross. Going through phones, I find disgusting. Going through people's journals, I find disgusting. I find it distasteful. Um, Being with somebody you don't trust, getting with somebody's ex, it's just it's so gross and it's so unclassy. Like it just proves to me that you have no self-respect for yourself, let alone me. You know what I'm saying? I never look at me as an issue whenever somebody cheats on me. I look at you because you don't think you're good enough for me and you don't respect yourself. Period. Dust yourself off, Bookie. And that's something I had to learn within years of knowing that just because somebody cheats, that doesn't mean I'm the issue. I'm the problem. It's them. They don't have self-control. They don't think they're good enough for you, and they don't have respect for themselves. They're distasteful. They're disgusting. And that's been my mindset for the past couple of months. And I've been thriving ever since. I've been so caught up of thinking that I'm the issue when it comes to dating these men who don't see my value, but it's like, okay, babe, I know my value already. I don't need you to validate my value or my worth to know that I'm worth being loved and treated with care. You see, if you can't see that, I'm not going to force no nigga to ever see that. Period. Period. Hello. You see what I'm saying? And the list just goes on and it goes on and it goes on. Sometimes people have a habit of moving in too fast with their significant other in the community and wondering why shit falls apart right afterwards, but you guys knew each other for 6 months. You're bringing somebody into your space that you haven't even fully seen them at their low, when they're mad, when they're sad, when they're frustrated. You have not seen them in any of these type of emotions, but yet this is the person you want to live with. People cling on to the thought of a relationship than what actually comes with being in a relationship. You feel me? And we gotta stop that, chat. We gotta stop that. It's not cute. is not cute. Because if anything, you wasting your time. Yes, at the end of the day, we're young. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna date. There's nothing wrong with dating, but making sure you're also dating with the intention of being with this person. I hate a bitch who dates just to date. It's okay if you want to be outside, be a hooker. That's okay. Own up to that, but do not replace that or use you trying to be in a relationship, but you really just want to get with people. You just want to hook up because now you're wasting the other person's time, and now that shit gonna bite you in the ass later down the road because karma is a bitch. She comes for everybody, y'all. She hits hard. She's a hitter. She a hard hitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sorry, I lost my notification. It just comes a point. It comes a point. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's my idea, I guess you could say, of dating in the community because it's like it it people make it so complicated than what it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And oof, let's you know what? Because we can get into the pros and cons of being in the community, and you want to know what pro and con, one huge con, or at least ick for me when it comes to being in the gay community is that there's people out here who would have a first date with you and ask you hey, like, the first three questions they ask you, and one of those questions are you a top or a bottom? And I've known you for a week, 2 weeks. And it's like, granted, now I'm not saying the question is not important. The question is very important in the sense of knowing what our preferences is and if this is somewhere that can work sexually. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't go from, oh, what's your middle name? What's your career? Oh, are you a top or a bottom? You sit up. There's a time and place for everything. And I feel like there's a lot of niggas out there who feel like they need to ask that question immediately to know if you're the person. But why does my sexual preference have to really dictate if I'm the person for you? If that's how you think and how your mind is set up, baby, don't even waste your time asking me what my middle name is, girl. Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste it because I find that disgusting, actually. I find that absolutely disgusting. I find it sickening. You know what I mean? And it's like, it just really just comes from a place of like, there's a time and place for everything. So why are you so why are you even comfortable with asking me my top, if I'm a top or bottom? I feel like that's equivalent to asking a woman what her age is. Am I wrong? I find it so weird. I find it so weird. I find it so weird and I hate it. So it's like, find something better to talk about. I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the whole top or bottom conversation. The whole, like, honestly, I still respect me personally. If I know you're talking to your ex, I want to know, like, oh yeah, like, are you cool with your ex? Like, I think that's one of the biggest things. Me and Isaiah always talk about this. Two of the biggest questions for me that I feel like I ask, and when it comes to me trying to get to know you, or like, just test the waters. I'm gonna ask you, one, what do you think your red flag is? Or two, how did you and your ex end? And it's like, depending how you answer this conversation is going to dictate if this is going to be our last conversation. Like, yeah, if you approach the conversation that, you fell out with your ex and like, oh yeah, like he did this, he did that, he did this, so it's fucked, da da da. I'm probably going to side eye you a little bit. And it's like, yes, niggas cheat. You see what I'm saying? But even with that, it's like, yes, somebody could treat you. They could have done you 99% wrong. Don't get me wrong. But there's always a little element or small little piece that we all can work on as people when it comes to relationships or anything. Like if there's something that you feel like you unintentionally do in a relationship that can be seen as a red flag or that you see as a red flag. I love somebody who's very self-aware. I love that. It's a very attractive thing to me. So when you can point out, yes, he did da 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 da, but at the end of the day, I know I show up short and da da da, or I do da da da. I'm gonna respect you. I'm gonna eat that up. You see what I'm saying? But if you go in it, like I said, like, oh yeah, I don't think I have any red flags. I don't do anything. Even me, myself, I'm not perfect, but I know I fall short in certain areas where it's like me, like I overthink everything like crazy, and I can form 60,000 different scenarios in my head within a span of 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And all of those scenarios don't even match the real reason on why you're doing this or this or that. That's just how I am, But I'm able to admit that because I know it's something I'm willing to work on. Somebody who's able to admit where they fell short, or somebody who's able to admit their red flags, are those who are aware and can acknowledge it, and it's kind of showing and proof that they're doing the groundwork to fix it and work on it. You know what I'm saying? And some people don't do that, unfortunately, in this weak ass community because people feel like they're at an age where they've grown so much as a person, da da da. But it's like, y'all, even the oldest people, and I used to talk to somebody about this all the time, is that sometimes the older people be like, oh yeah, I want to date older. Those usually be the niggas who don't know how to communicate in the first place. But hey, y'all sit there and fall for one of the most toxic niggas 24/7 and think they're your niggas and they don't even know how to communicate at the end of the day. That's not my story. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to associate maturity with age. Let's make sure we separate that, you guys. Let's separate maturity with age. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I'm telling you guys, it just goes on and on and on. I personally can't really think of other and I'm sure there is, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of other pros and cons I could think of in the community, but let me marinate. Oof, this one might hit home for a few people. Hello. Those who can't be by themselves. The amount of people who I feel like were very obsessive over me and my relationships with people who I was talking to in general frightens me. Like, it scares me now. And before I used to eat it up, and sometimes people would see it as clinginess. But in my opinion, sometimes people mask clinginess or mask can't being by themselves with clinginess. You know, like, oh, falling asleep, y'all, no shade, falling asleep on the phone with somebody is a red flag. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say when it comes to that topic. Falling asleep on the phone every single day, 24/7 is it's just a huge red flag. It's a huge no-no in my book. Because why is there a moment where we feel like we can't be without each other? And it's like, yes, you can have that craving for somebody. Like, oh, I need them in my space. Even me, like, I'm such a physical person. I love touching up on the people that I love and want to be with. But it's also a point where it's like, I need my space too to recuperate, to recharge. And you can't do that being caked up on the phone. It's gross. Like, even me just thinking, I used to do that within all of my relationships. I kind of just set that boundary the past year. It's like, regardless of who I am, because I tend to talk to people who's not in the same state as me, unfortunately, because I live in Atlanta. I feel like that kind of speaks for itself on why I don't date in Atlanta. Thank you. But it's like, with that, it's like people feel like it's a normality to fall asleep on the phone, and I just find it as such a red flag now. It's actually like will give me an ick. I feel like if somebody was to come to me right now and tell me like, oh yeah, like I'll feel comfortable if we fall asleep on the phone, I probably will lose interest in you because it just makes me feel like you can't be on your own. I can't do that. I can't do that. I crave my self-love. I crave my self-care. I'm not trying to be sitting, getting my nails done, getting my hair cut, getting my hair braided, and you're on the phone. I'm not trying to sit here and do that. That's just not my cup of tea. It's never been my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, honestly, though, that might just be a form of attachment issues. Like, my dog has attachment issues. And that's not even me trying to be funny. Like, I swear, like, there's no shade to those who have attachment issues because we all been there, done that. But sometimes I look back into how the people that I get with or get to know, I always want to ask them about their childhood. Like, how were you raised? Like, how was your family around you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to know. And with that, I know what I could do with that information, and I know how to move regarding how, I'm an open book, me personally. And I feel like I'm one of those people where it's like, you can really get to know me so easy. Like, it's so easy to get to know me. I'm going to give you every single detail. I'm going to give you a breakdown. I'm going to give you a perspective, a scenario, so you know exactly what I went through, how it felt when I went through that situation, and so on and so forth. Some people don't have the tools and confidence to do that. And that's okay. Even if somebody who's listening to this struggles opening up, it's okay. Sometimes we feel like opening up can create this space of judgment, and people are going to judge at the end of the day. And honestly, I'm very big on what makes you unique is important. Whatever makes you unique, it makes you stand out. It makes you important. I would hate for me to attract or talk to somebody who is like the next bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to no nigga who's like the typical social media person. I want somebody who has, that balance, you know what I mean, who know how to express themselves and know how to talk what they need to talk about, but not have to do too much. Like, I don't have to ask you, what do you mean? You just, know what to say, and that's how I am as a person. And that's what I get attracted to. But all in all, when it comes to pros of being in the gay community, I feel like I love feeling comfortable. I love being able to connect with people who have been through the same things that I have been through. And it makes us almost feel like a family. That's one of the biggest things I take pride in being in the community, is that we all have kind of dealt with the same traumas, and we all have been through the same things. And with that, kind of builds this love and connection with certain people, like my homegirls. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel seen, and makes me feel like it's like a judgment free zone. That's one of the biggest things I love being in the gay community, is that it makes me feel like I can be authentically myself without the fear of judgment. Now, granted, there is people out there who are in the gay community who are very judgy, very rude, and has that forced mean girl personality, and you can spot those hoes out from a mile away. And I know when to spot them out, and I know when to avoid them. And that's why my circle is so strong. But my circle is the strong. My circle is so small, but my circle is the strongest bitch. I promise you. I promise you every single time. All my hoes is real strong minded. They're real confident, and they ain't no assholes. They never gave fake mean girl. We got each other at the end of the day. And I love having that within the gay community. You know, I'm very big on making sure I use my voice and helping other people feel seen and heard and loved. And that goes for me meeting other people who's in the community as well. I want all of us to make sure we're doing that as a collective, because it's important to make sure everybody that's around us feels loved and feels seen, you know, especially in the times that we're in right now with, people out to get us, homophobia being a thing. And all we really got is each other. And that's why I feel like it's so important for us to make sure that we come together as a family against those who hate us and don't appreciate us or supports us. And know that at the end of the day, we have a community at heart that supports us, our needs, who we are as people, and just reminds us that we're not alone in what we go through. That's very important to me, and that's a huge pro for me when it comes to being in the gay community. um I think I kind of ate. Yeah, I think I ate. I think I kind of ate on that. This little 1-2 of a podcast. I love talking about the gay community, and I feel like each episode I film just feels a lot more lighthearted. It doesn't feel like I'm just doing homework. I feel like the first couple of episodes I had to kind of get used to talking and speaking my mind and giving advice, and I feel like with that I have been able to grow a lot more as a person. And I encourage you guys, honestly, let me put you guys on game real quick before we wrap up this last episode, or this episode, not last, but you guys should start doing video entries. I encourage it. And video entries is basically like writing. Sometimes there's days I don't feel like writing, so I'll set my phone up and I'll literally just talk. Literally just talk. It helps me better with my pronunciations and help me point out what I need to work on as a person. Sometimes it helps to say things out loud that we need to work on, so we actually take action in doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned so much about myself and how I communicate, and worked on my communication just based off of me just sitting down the camera and just talking to it. So whenever you guys have the chance to do that, I really, really encourage it. Please do it. It's really good for the soul, good for your mind, and just good overall. Like, it makes me feel refreshed, like a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? So really, really encourage you guys to do that. And wow, I think this wraps up this podcast. I'm gonna give you guys two little pointers. I think I want to start ending my episodes. There's gonna be a little shift every single time within each episode. But with this one, I want to say this. Y'all know how I get down. If nobody has told you before, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the person that you are becoming. You are loved, you are seen, you matter. Everything that you put and you plant will grow and will prosper within time, within ease. And you're right where you need to be in life, even if it doesn't feel like it. You might not be where you want to be, but it's where you need to be. And that matters the most. So please keep that in mind. Thank you guys for listening to today's podcast. And as I always say, make sure you guys share this with a fellow relative, a friend, a mom, your dad. If you need to send it to somebody to see things from your point of view and how you see things, if this is how you see things, I want you to be able to express that to other people who needs to see that or feel that or just feel seen. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening to my podcast, and I'll see you on next episode.